Hi, welcome back. This is Jennifer ScrappinCain. Today I'm sharing the very first layout that I created for the Scrap Room, being a new member of their design team for 2025 to 2026. This is a photo of all of the design team members. And the first kit I'm playing with is the Flavors of the Month kit, Simple Stories, Happy Travels. I have two photos of my son sitting in the hotel room of the Great Wolf Lodge, and this is the ephemera pack that I received in my kit. Everybody receives something different. So it's kind of like a little sampling of the collection. And then you can decide if you want to order more or if this wasn't the right collection for you. Then you play with what you got, and that's it. So here I have a few of the little embellishments from the ephemera pack. This here is a little collection of puppy or foam stickers from Simple Stories. And then another little ephemera label. And that was another little ephemera piece. And then this here is brads. And those are the fake brads. Those are the ones that are stickers. So you just pull them off and put them on the layout. I love this matte paper right here. That's actually the one I'm going to use for this layout. And I'm going to do something kind of cool with it. And it's going to be a pretty quick layout, but it definitely took a lot of time to create it just because of what I decided to do with it. Here are the other papers that are included in the kit, along with two bright blue cardstock pieces. I love this blue. And then if you order the pattern paper add-on, you receive these two sheets of papers here. And I always order the pattern paper add-on just because I love pattern paper, so I get the extra paper. And then the embellishment kit includes the full 12 by 12 sticker sheet, which I love. And I love this collection. As you probably already know, if you were on my channel, I already created quite a few layouts with this particular collection. But here is the paper. I decided to cut each strip all the way up in pretty much to where I'm going to place the photos down. I didn't want it to go all the way through the center. Obviously, I still wanted it to stay connected. So the first thing I'm going to do is splatter white acrylic paint. And I splatter it on just watering it down. First, I'm going to go around the edge with a paintbrush. This is a foam paintbrush, and I'm going to add white acrylic paint all around the edge. Sorry if I'm kind of stumbling over the layout. I created this a while ago, and I forgot to do the voiceover, but I'm getting it done now. Anyways, here you go. So that's all I'm doing here is before I watered it down, I went ahead and just used the paintbrush and put white all the way around the edge. And then I'm going to bring the pattern paper back in and I'm going to start attaching it down. I only put the ATG tape right in the middle where the photos are going to go. And then every other one I'm going to pop up with foam tape. So it's going to give a little bit of dimension to the layout. This isn't very thick foam tape. It's only probably 1 millimeter. It's definitely my thinner one. And I'm just going to go all the way around. And that's, like I said, just a little bit for dimension and adds a little something. I am attaching the other ones down with ATG. If I'm not adding the foam, I'm adding ATG and putting those ones down. And I'm just going to go all the way around. I sped it up so it wouldn't bore you to death since it was fairly simple to do. And then I believe I'll come back in with the white acrylic paint and splatter again. But like I said, I don't know what I did in which order, but I know there's white acrylic paint in the end. The two photos are matted on white cardstock, and that was just from my stash. And I always mat my photos in white cardstock, especially if I'm going to put them on a bright pattern paper background. I want the photos to always be the star, so I want them to pop off the background. Here, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Oh, I am going to go ahead and add my photos. Maybe I don't do paint splatter until the end. We're going to find out together. But Here's the cute little photos. I decided to use that getaway title that was from the puffy, the foam stickers. And then it just says our little getaway on it. I didn't want to add the room key from this 12 by 12 sticker sheet just because if I did, then it would be the same. I already have another layout from the same trip using the room key, so I didn't want to use the room key. I went ahead and added the little label up here at the top. It says Great Wolf Lodge. You saw me just write it down first on a scrap piece of paper. I was just making sure it was going to fit and it was going to look okay. I don't usually do handwriting on my layouts, but every once in a while I go ahead and just handwrite instead of using stickers or something else. And a little label I think is okay to just, do your regular little handwriting on. So that's what I did. And I'm going to go ahead and add my title down because that is where I want it to be. And then I'm going to come in and add this cute little camera. And I'm going to put a little heart on top of it and a little star that's in orange. And the embellishing is pretty simple. I just kind of added whatever I thought was cute. And like I said, I want the pattern paper to shine and the photos. I love this pattern paper, so I was okay with it being the only pattern paper on the layout. I went ahead and added those sticky brads right by the title and up by the cute little camera. And then here's where I decided that it needed the white acrylic paint splattering to go with the white acrylic edge. So I'm going to cover my photos, and like I said, I just use plain white acrylic paint. This one here is actually from Walmart, fairly cheap, and I just use a little bit of water to water it down, and I splattered all around. And there's my layout for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed creating it and playing with the flavors of the month kit. I love using the Scraproom kits, and I will be back on the 23rd with another layout for the Scraproom using another kit from the flavors of the month. And there you can see all the little edges popped up. I did distress each of those little edges also. That was something I didn't mention. I did that off screen, but bye.